Okay. Welcome. Welcome to ProSpeak. Oh, but that says hang out with Jeffrey there. Well, you're going to be hanging out with Jeffrey, and it is about ProSpeak. ProSpeak. Well, it's been an interesting year. I'm going to give out some kudos and thank some guests. One person that I want to give a kudo to, who've been on Hangout with Jeffrey, ProSpeak with Jeffrey, Ah, in fact, has been an amazing support and a great addition is Penny Petty. Now, Penny's not here. Um, had to deal with life, you know how that is. And I did invite her because I wanted to say thank you very much, Penny, for all the great work, inspiration, and I hope that we can work together more in 2016. Because, yes, this is the last show. This is my season finale, my fall finale, and I will have an opening again in January. So, with lots of interesting things. So, I've had a lot of guests this year, and some of them have been for me, outstanding in all sorts of ways. Uh, one, I, one, well, no, I've got several names down here because over the couple of years that I've been doing Hangouts, I've actually met some really interesting people. So one of my favorites, of course, is Penny Petty, who has her own Hangout show. Um, but another is David Guthrow. His sense of humor and quirkiness and way of communicating with people, I think, is superb. If you get a chance to hear him as a keynote speaker or to attend one of his workshops because your company has invited you, take that, go for it, because I think, in his own subtle and intelligent and quirky way, he makes a big difference. So, a big thumbs up to David Guthrow. Uh, Another person that I learned a great deal from this year was Cheryl Cran, who is a leading example of someone who has determinedly and firmly moved her business and her expertise up and up and up. And if you're an aspiring speaker, wanting to see or hear a great speaker, Cheryl Cran. Check out CherylCran.com and her new book. Very good. Oh, yes. I have it. Oh, no, I don't have it here. Oh, wow. That's bad. But guess what I do have? I have my own book up here, Presentation Power. And Become a Powerful Speaker. Yes, Cheryl fits that group, a powerful speaker. Then people I've learned a lot from and who've contributed a lot to different things I've been doing is Jessica and Trina, who helped produce this book. Yes, very, very good. Brilliant people. Yeah, a good book too. Well, we're going to have Jessica and Trina come back and talk about how to produce your own book, how to go through it. They've got an amazing story, and it's great fun. Their story, and they'll help you really do very, very well. And then there's Catherine Lazark at uh, I see you. It's very clever, but if you put in just Catherine with a K, Catherine Lazark, in the search bar, it'll take you there. Now, she's brought up things about dressing and packing and being on the road. I mean, I learned more. It's one of those things where I don't think about clothes except when I don't have them ready. I sort of like, oh wow, you know it, and the thoughtful but creative way in which she goes about helping people to find their style of expression, their look. I think it's pretty marvelous. So that's Catherine. An inspiring story for me was one episode we had, Out of Adversity, with Jen DeTracy. I'd I'd recommend that you look at that one. You can see it at jeffreyxlane.com. Just go to ProSpeak, click, it'll be there. You can see it. It's nice and clear. It's a very, very thoughtful and I think important important one. That yeah. I mean, to find out that you have a potentially, well, eventually crippling disease that's going to slowly rob you of your physical faculties and eventually just kind of almost overwhelm you, and to plan and to work and to continue to give the way that Jen DeTracy does. Yeah, no, go take a look at what she does. Very, very good. Yes. And Kim Beveland says she came on to talk about photography, having authentic and real representation on your website. You know, the photograph, the public relations one that they want to use in the magazine or in the brochure where you're a speaker. It's she's got this one. It's really good. Yes. Lots of good tips. How to look good. Oh, and I think I'm going to talk about one is uh, Chris Beveridge working with a web designer. That episode was very good, and it was quite prophetic because Chris talked about, you know, working with a designer and a creative that is in the same spectrum as you, and who has the same sort of caring and same kind of thought stream or consciousness that you do, so that it works together. Because that was quite prophetic, because unfortunately Chris and I ended up not working together. um, it's but that was so powerful, that episode, and quite prophetic, and I still highly recommend Chris to people. um, he is for a very creative, kind of, I want to say, stronger kind of energy than me, and I wish him really well. Yeah, very good guy. Very good. Okay, well, the other people are what I call the mythbusters. That's Milani McDonald and Jessica Duell and Ray Hiltz and Scott Scowcroft and of course Penny. These were all on one show called Mythbusters, where we talked about some of the myths about public speaking and what it you should or should not do, and how that can and how that work. Very good, and they were just great, great guests. The number one thing I liked about them as guests was, of course, that they show up, and they show up in a way that is natural and real. Of course, you know me and my no bullshit rules. Okay, all right. Now, I want to talk about the importance of taking some time as holidays coming up, between Christmas rush and build up and parties and social occasions, and then the kind of trough as you get towards Christmas. Sorry, you leave Christmas and get ready. Just if it's not very long, it's just a few days, and suddenly you're back up again in doing the um, getting ready for 2016. Now, of course, there will be people that tell you that you should already be ready. You should be, you know, absolutely got a 5-year plan, and I'm not one of those people. I don't think that New Year's resolutions work per se, such as, you know, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So without really thought, if they don't have thought and caring with them, and what I mean by caring is taking care of yourself so that you can show up in the world and help people and be who you are, which is, of course, I think the greatest gift that there is to other people is to show up. But anyway, I digress. So one of the things that I do um, with my wife, I always feel that's a sexist term. My partner, Brigitte, is in that gap between sort of all that run up to Christmas, bang, and then, you know, to New Year's. In that gap, take some time to just be quiet, be with us, just the two of us, and maybe even take time away, go for walks, think. It's often when I would go away for a meditation and a kind of a retreat. But we spend that time and we talk about two things and we get ready for the actual conversation on New Year's Eve. And what we talk about is what we want to do is get as much of our energy and our focus into what I call current reality. Current reality is where you are not distracted by the past or being pulled by because the only thing you can see is your vision. So current reality is being aware of your past and being aware of what you want to create simultaneously. And it's we start off the conversation about 2015, and when we talk about 2015, we talk about it as a sort of, well, what worked? What was really fantastic? What did you really love? What energized you? Where was the fun? Where was the learning? Where was all of the good stuff about 2015? And then we talk about, well, all the other side of that, the other energy of 2015. Now, I actually like to write down all of the stuff that I didn't like or didn't work, and I make notes. So I take a look at the things that didn't work, and then, the things I couldn't change, I had no control over. Um, that life happened. I turn around and I just cross those off. But the things that I did have an impact with, or some energy with, or contributed to things not working, I write those down. What did I learn? Because unless I can learn from it, maybe I'm doomed to repeat it. They say if you don't learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it. So I write those down and I look at it. And then after we've done that, because we take turns doing it, and I always invite ladies first. So then when we've completed that, we talk about 2016. And we talk about it from a couple of perspectives. One, what we want to create, kind of like almost like a wish list. And then we talk about what it will take to do it. Because it's one thing to have a vision, but unless you have tangible measurable goals or results to match up against, you don't know if you're getting there. Because in essence, we've gotten to, by talking about 2015 and cleaning up all the energy on it, we know what we can take forward into the next year. So it's about looking at it. Well, okay, some things I'm going to continue to do. Doesn't mean I have to start fresh. In fact, a lot of things I will continue to do. Some things, when I look at the energy cost and the results, well, I'll phase out or I'll stop or what. So I'll look at all of those things. Now, I don't just look at it from a business perspective. So those of you that have been hanging out with me for a while know that coming up a year and a half ago, I had open heart surgery. And so even with my family doctor, I'm going in shortly to have a test to see how I'm doing. So I'll get an opportunity to look at what's worked, what hasn't worked, or at least what I don't think has worked, and what I can do differently. So I apply that to everything that I'm doing. It's sort of looking at it and going, well, okay, this is this is where I am, and this leads me to my next step. So then I'll talk about what I want to create, what I want to create. As an entrepreneur, the only way that I can generate an income or drive an income, of course, is to create stuff, to create things that people want, that people like, that people will get engaged with. So I've spent half the of 2015 in that process, and the early part of 2016, the manifestation of that work will continue to grow and be apparent. So some things are just a carryover. Now that's a business one, and a personal one, for example, will carry over of going to the gym on a regular basis, watching what I eat, taking care of myself, so that I can show up and be of service to people, because that's actually what I love to do. I love helping people, and I get a great deal of fun out of it. Okay, so having said all that and talked about it, kind of that's the process that we do, and then we write it down. Now, the one thing uh, that I learned from my friend David that I love so much is um, be focused. So, in other words, really get focused on what you want to create, and at times, if it's necessary, make it a single driving focus. Because I personally don't think that multitasking works really well. And then be flexible, because while you think you know how you're going to get there, you're moving down a plan, or you've got a set of strategies that you're going to use, while you think it, you need to be flexible, because life will hand you surprises. You'll hand yourself surprises. You might find yourself working away diligently and actually creating everything necessary to give you what you want, and then discover you don't want it. Oh, hmm. It's not you don't want the end result, you just don't want the lifestyle that's come with it. Hmm. As a coach, and I've seen that more often than not, that when achieving certain things, that people go, oh, it's not what I thought. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's a terrific thing, because it's one more, it's off the list, right? Okay, that doesn't work for me. I get rid of it. Um, so focus on what you want to create. Really get focused. Be exclusionary, be unreasonable about it, focus on it. Then be flexible. There might be a way, there could be a way, there will be a way that is different from yours, that will get you there either faster or safer, or both. So flexibility. And the third element that I think is so important, and I lost track of this year, is fun. Because when you're enjoying what you're doing, when you're having fun doing it, and you know it's helping people, and you're enjoying every aspect of it, well, there's a funny thing that happens to your energy. It naturally floats up. It naturally gets better and better. Anyway, so that's my kind of little rant and talk about this year and next year and the holidays. Now, I do want to say to everyone who watches and who is out there, I wish you the very best over the holidays, whichever way you celebrate it. Now, I'm, raised a Christian, chosen to be a Buddhist, so I don't know what I am. I have these mixed cultural values, but I love Christmas. I love the idea of goodwill and the expression of goodwill and taking care of each other. And so I'm going to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. All the best, Jeffrey.